the numbers are in for Call of Duty in terms of the US video game sales, and it is, as expected, a top selling video game. Now, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, there was a large discussion around that game before its release because of going into Game Pass, which was a massive move by Xbox. That was them showing full confidence in the Xbox Game Pass service and really putting all of their chips into it with that huge investment into the Activision Blizzard acquisition. Putting Black Ops 6 into Game Pass Day 1 just shows that they are serious about this thing, growing it, all of that stuff. So we have some information about the sales right now from Circana and the overall US video game market right now. Black Ops 6, as I said, did phenomenal. We have some numbers for Stalker 2, which is doing very good. Some other news here regarding an Xbox app that is going away and some more stuff. But we'll jump right into all of this. Before we continue, if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit that subscribe, share the video, like the video, all of that good stuff. So Call of Duty Black Ops 6, there was that huge discussion. There was also a lot of people who went out and made some crazy claims, like putting Black Ops into Game Pass was going to kill the game, gonna hurt Xbox. A lot of people came out on that side of the argument, which was kind of head scratching for me, because logically, just from a common sense perspective, you would think about it. And Call of Duty is a game that sells very good every single year. It is a game that people play throughout the entire year, and the fan base of it, it's one of those games that there are people out there that literally just play Call of Duty. That's all they play. Call of Duty, Madden, like those styles of games. So they were just going to go out there and still buy the game regardless of it being into Xbox Game Pass. It has proven true here. I mean, we've already seen some previous numbers with how well it has already been selling on Steam and on PlayStation, and how Xbox has the largest player base right now, from what Phil Spencer had said, I believe, last week. But we have this information here from Circana saying that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 was the best-selling game of October 2024, instantly becoming the third best-selling game of the year in the US. Now, you may think, oh, wow, how is it third best-selling? Well, it was only out for 5 days in October, and it already became the best-selling game of that month, and already the third best-selling game of the year, just behind Helldivers 2 at number 2 and College Football 25 at number 3, which is actually quite remarkable for College Football 25, a game that was away for 10 years. There was so much hype around it. It is right now the best-selling game of 2024, but you would probably guess by the end of this year, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 will be the best-selling game of 2024, because these numbers are only as of November 2nd, 2024, meaning that the game had only been on the market for 5 days. So I think all the naysayers now are completely wrong. I've completely been shut up by this whole thing about Call of Duty being hurt by putting into Xbox Game Pass. Clearly, that is not the case. Now, we also have some other numbers here. Console sales. I mean, console sales are still on the decline. The PS5 is the best-selling hardware right now, but the overall console market is on the decline. That's kind of why you get refreshes, why you get mid-gen refreshes, is these companies want to try to revitalize that market, which we did see with the PS5 Pro, and we'll see how well those numbers do, I guess, in the next report. There's also the holiday and Christmas season where deals, Black Friday deals, all of that stuff with price cuts, these companies are hoping will also push a couple more sales. But as of right now, it says here, the trending of falling video game hardware sales in the United States continued in October 2024. Hardware spending fell 23% year over year in October, from 323 million to 249 million. That follows a year over year drop in September of 44% that saw just 251 million in hardware sales. And like last month, the declining sales were across all three major platforms. The Switch, as expected, saw the biggest fall of 38% year over year. I mean, the reality is people are out here now waiting for the announcement of the Nintendo Switch 2, and Nintendo is sitting there still trying to push more Nintendo Switch consoles so that they can get the record for the best-selling console of all time. I mean, they just recently even released that new Zelda Nintendo Switch Lite, and I feel like there may be even more editions of the current Switch that will be released before the official release of the Nintendo Switch 2. They want to get that record. I think they will end up getting it, but the Switch 2 is imminent. I mean, the announcement is coming. They've already said they are announcing it, I believe, in this fiscal year, so it should be soon, and I feel like the release date after they announce the Nintendo Switch 2 won't be too far off. PlayStation 5 had the second largest drop at 20%, while the Xbox Series had an 18% decrease in sales, and the fall of the PS5 and Xbox Series wasn't as much as the 45 and 54%, respectively, that they both saw a drop in September. Now, when it comes to total sales, PS5 is still the best-selling console of the month. Series finished second, and the Switch is clearly going out the door right now at the end of the life cycle, as we are waiting for the Nintendo Switch 2, as it fell to third place after that. And for 2024 as a whole, right now, hardware sales are down 29% from 3.97 billion in 2023. And despite a drop of nearly 30%, hardware revenue sits at 2.82 billion this year. So that is the console life cycle. The sales are going down there. As I've said previously, there really hasn't been very much to revitalize these sales. Yes, there's been refreshes in terms of the slim consoles for the PlayStation, the PS5 Pro, but PS5 Pro is $700. And on top of that, we really haven't seen many major price cuts at all throughout this generation, or bundles or anything like that that would incentivize people who are still playing games on the PS4 and the Xbox One and the Nintendo Switch to go out and pick up one of the newer pieces of hardware. I mean, games are still releasing on those old generation consoles. Even like a game like Call of Duty is still there. So at this point, it probably will continue to decline. We see a $50 price cut for the Series X during Christmas, and then we also see technically a $70 if you're comparing it to the current price of the PS5, but it's really only a $20 price cut if you compared it to the launch price of the PS5. So I don't know how many units that will actually sell. It's not a very big price cut, unless we start seeing some retailers throwing some games and controllers and things like that. But console sales are definitely on the continuous decline right now, as things just are getting set up here for the next generation. Now, we're speaking about Call of Duty. I mean, we already saw how successful Black Ops 6 has been. Now we have some already more information. This kind of happens every year, I find. Just right after the release of the newest Call of Duty game, we get more information about the future Call of Duty games, because yes, these are yearly releases. We have this here from the Ghost of Hope here on X, well known with this type of information. Says, what I'm being told about the future of Call of Duty, Microsoft has set up a new committee under Activision for Call of Duty that will control features and systems at the franchise level and let the studios make suggestions. So whether something like Omni Movement, which is new to the franchise, survives past this year will be decided not by Infinity Ward or Treyarch, but by this committee. And studios are being told not to innovate in areas like UI, prestige, certain gameplay features, etc., but rather to focus on innovating on maps, modes, storytelling, as that is where they want the creativity to come from. So interesting things there. They're not just going to leave it up to a singular studio that may be biased in, I guess, the stuff that they do create to try to push that into future games. There is going to be a committee looking at everything, and probably a decent move. Hopefully they just take into account the overall sentiment from the community and the things that they like versus what they dislike, and then build off of that. I feel like that would be the best way to go about it. But I do like this part. Yeah, they don't really need to innovate in UI. Okay, yeah, they upgraded the UI, whatever. It's not the worst thing in the world if the user interface isn't the best. But things like gameplay and the game modes and the maps and the storytelling for the single player campaign, which Black Ops 6 is phenomenal, improving on that every single year is going to definitely push this franchise forward. We go down here into the comments. You have Sith Potato saying, I think this is a good thing for the Warzone era of COD, but imagine having this back in the World at War days. They would have cut zombies. This person says, yes, don't innovate in the UI area. Bring back old UI. This person says, I think this is overall okay, but I think we need to see Call of Duty game where this is in effect. Wondering how Infinity Ward will be doing next year, now that the community sentiment for them is at an all-time low. And Ghost of Hope reminds this person that they actually worked on the 2026 one, but yes, there will be something for Infinity Ward to have to realize here, so they can continue to improve, as the community, I believe, is pretty hard against them as of right now. Person says, so Infinity Ward will be forced to use Omni Movement, but let's say a terrible feature like time perks, the committee can determine whether that innovation passed or be sent to the depths of hell. What if it did pass? And Ghost of Hope reply says that would imply they're not losing players and money from that feature being a thing. So this is interesting to see how this is going to affect the future of the game. Overall, I think that is probably a good thing. So you don't have studios just kind of in their own worlds making a game where the thoughts and sentiment towards it is just negative, but they're not improving on the negativity. Now with this committee, hopefully that will kind of flesh that out and make sure that all of these games launch very good. Black Ops 6 has had a phenomenal launch. I mean, every single game mode is fun. And we saw a huge jump here from the campaigns from Modern Warfare 3 to Black Ops 6. I wonder if this was because of just the huge negative pushback against the one last year, or maybe because there was more time in the development. But other than that, it's been a great game. And hopefully this is what we basically see now going forward with every launch of Call of Duty. All right, two more things here. Quickly, this one. The Xbox avatars, they are essentially going away. My profile picture on Xbox is actually a screenshot of my avatar, but I have not entered that app in who knows how long, a very, very long time. And that's why basically they are taking away this app. If you're somebody who plays around with the Xbox avatars, you won't be able to after January 9th, 2025. They put this message out here, Xbox does, saying all Xbox avatar purchases from November 1st, 2023 through to January 9th, 2025 will be refunded to your valid payment instrument after the Xbox Avatar Editor app is no longer available. You can check your purchase and refund history. And on January 9th, 2025, the app, which features the avatar styles that you can see in the picture here, will no longer be available. And if you've created an avatar using the app, it will also no longer exist, along with any items that you may have purchased. And they say it's because of low engagement with the program. They're getting rid of it to not put resources into it and let Team Xbox focusing on delivering other player experiences. I wonder what's going to happen to my display picture. Will it literally just disappear? Or if that's a completely different thing? Probably it's just a completely different thing. But the avatar that you create for your Xbox profile is going to be gone early 2025. I mean, it's not a big deal whatsoever. Obviously, the engagement is very, very low. I don't know how many people actually used that anymore. I look through my friends list and I don't really see too much of it. So that's something that I don't think many people will care about, but it is going away if you're somebody who was using that application. And finally, Stalker 2 gave an update about over 100K people in Steam right at launch for this game, even though it got mediocre reviews, some good reviews, some bad reviews, but I would say it lands somewhere in the middle. There were a lot of technical issues that people have talked about. I've played this game now for a little bit, and on the Xbox Series X, it's been fine. Not too many issues that I've ran into. I can't even think of one major one. So, well, I'll see once I continue to play more, because obviously this is going to be a game where there's lots of hours to be put into it to be able to get through it. So maybe there will be more tech issues as I run through the game, but it's not really hindering the sales whatsoever. The reviews haven't hurt the sales, and the issues that people have brought up haven't done anything to hold this thing back. For 100K on Steam concurrent when it did launch, and now GSC Game World launches this or announces this. 1 million copies have sold for Stalker 2. They say, no wonder it feels a bit crowded in the zone. 1 million copies were sold and much more stalkers joined the artifact hunt with Game Pass. This is just the start of our unforgettable adventure. The heart of Chernobyl emanates stronger with each of us. Thank you, stalkers. 1 million copies sold is awesome. It's great to see the success of this game. And this game, you can guarantee, will get significantly better over the next year or so. Like, I feel like if you jump into this game 1 year from now, 6 months from now, once they start pushing out updates, it will be just overall a much better experience. One of those games that's been delayed multiple times. Everything that GSC Game World had to go through, it is actually pretty remarkable that the game is actually released and people are enjoying it and playing it and getting all of these sales. So it will continue to definitely get better if you're somebody who does want to wait. But as of right now, I'm exploring this world. It's captured me. The feeling of the world has captured me so far, but we'll see how long it does, because literally I launched it and instantly just died a bunch of times from an invisible enemy that I haven't still figured out how to get by. So I just run away till eventually it doesn't kill me anymore. But I'll end the video there, guys. If you do enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up, share the video, like the video, all that stuff. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.